Milestone 1, assessments. This is, and again, you're looking at 3 main parts. There's 4 parts, but we like to, when we're training, we like to explain it in 3 different parts. And you'll see the tabs down there at the bottom of the form, but basically you're starting out with soft skills. Then you'll be, and I'm going to come back to this. I'm just giving you an idea, but you're going to be looking at soft skills. And then in the next section, you'll be looking at performance skills. And then the last 2 sections is skills inventory and skill summary. So we'll start with soft skills. And basically, when your soft skills is you're going to be looking at the individual's interaction with the workplace setting. So you're looking at, like with the personal skills, you're wanting to, you know, the questions that you're going to be answering in here is going to be more descriptive of the individual themselves, their grooming, their time management, their temperament, appropriate self-expression, distinguishes between appropriate and inappropriate behavior. And so, you know, you've got your options when evaluating this is that those as you say, grooming, for example, appropriate hygiene and clothing. If there's, is it a strong, average, needs improvement? And then you also have an opportunity there, not able to assess at the end, because there may be, like when you get into the math and reading, are not able to complete, my bad, not able to complete. There, you may not be able to find out what kind of math skills they've got, you know. So you've got those 4 options when you're checking those boxes there. Really stop and take a minute and think about how the assessment went as you're going through this and doing it. You don't want to pencil whip this document. I promise you, you don't. This document and those assessments are going to help you determine what supports that individual is going to need to be successfully employed and be able to maintain that job. Doing the work up front with the PCP or the discovery and doing these assessments, you really want to make sure you're taking your time and when you're doing these and get as much information as you can and as accurate as information as you can, because this is what's going to help that individual become gainfully, successfully employed. And more than that, maintain that job for a long period of time. That's part of how this got us started. The PCP and the way we're doing assessments now is that individuals years and years ago, the first part there wasn't a lot of time spent on that, and so on the back end in that milestone 3 and 4, many individuals were not being able to maintain those jobs. And so as we've done this now, we have seen across the state that percentage of success rate has gone way up for individuals that go to work and maintain those jobs too. So in the soft skills, again, you're looking at those interactions, the individual's interactions with the workplace, in the workplace setting. In their interpersonal skills is going to be more descriptive of their interactions with others. So personal skills is descriptive of the individual themselves. Then as you move into the interpersonal skills, you're looking at the individual's interactions with others. And let me say also here, because I think this is more important than, making sure we cover every question with you on this. That comment section, again, it will expand as you type stuff in it. Be as descriptive as you can when you're completing that comment section. For example, if I said, Bob interacts very well with others, but he didn't communicate appropriately. To me, I may be thinking maybe he was using, vulgar language at somebody. Cynthia may be thinking that he didn't communicate appropriately. It means that maybe he wasn't able to vocalize. So be as descriptive as you can when you're doing these comment sections. It describe what did not communicate appropriately looks like. Think of it in those terms. What I'm saying here, what does it actually look like? Because words can definitely, perspective is everything, I always say. So is soft skills, you're going to be looking initially at those descriptive of the individual themselves, interpersonal skills, descriptive of their interaction with others, and then you're getting into adaptability, work ethic, and the adaptability is going to be describing the individual related to the work environment, and then work ethic is descriptive of the individual's desire, motivation, and value of employment. And again, I think the questions themselves are pretty self-explanatory. Just take the time to really evaluate. Are those strong, average? Do they need improvement? Are you not able to complete that? I put or we put not able to complete on understands the value and importance of employment. May have a situation where you have an individual where you're asking them about that and you've explained it to them, they just don't have a comment on it, something like that. But I wouldn't just leave that as not able to complete. In the comment section, you would want to be sure and put that in there. Discussed it with John, explained it to John. John still had no comment on his desire to work. All right, so now as you move into performance skills, so just one quick back. Soft skills is interaction with the workplace setting. Performance skills is going to be reaction to the workplace setting. You're going to start looking at those skill sets, the things like mobility and ambulation, how they're related to the job task, and what type of transportation the individual is going to have. Is it public? Do they have someone that's going to be, do they drive themselves? On the endurance, you're going to be looking at the quantity and quality of work during the assessment. And if you're just getting started doing these, I would highly recommend printing a blank form out and carrying it with you to the assessment sites. And remember, you're going to be doing at least 2 assessments at 2 different sites. So you'll have at least 2 opportunities. You're not limited to 2, but best practices is at least 2 different assessments at 2 different sites. And we have had occasions where we've done 3 and sometimes 4 assessments because we just didn't get the information we needed to help that individual be successful and know what supports they were going to need for us to help them get that job and keep it and be successful at it.
I have a question, Tim. I'm sorry.
If it's possible, can we hold it to the end? We're going to take questions. Okay, thank you.
And believe it or not, I'm just about done.
Yeah, hold on to your question. Write it down if need be.
So again, you'll be looking at, things like independence, what levels of supports will be needed, math and reading, and then again in those comment sections, be very descriptive. Skills inventory. Next tab at the bottom there. Skills inventory is a quick at a glance of everything that you just covered in the first 2 sections. And you're going to be looking at the soft skills section and looking at what the main strengths are and what areas need improvement. And then as you scroll down, you will see that the performance skills, strengths, and what areas need improvements. This is a quick glance at, again, those first two sections. I want to highly encourage you to make sure that when you're filling these next two sections out, that you are referring back to your soft skills and performance skills sections. Don't try to do it from memory, because what'll end up happening, we've seen it time and time again, you'll end up with a form that on the soft skills section, you're saying one thing, but then right here, you'll say something totally different, because as you're playing that assessment over and over in your head, filling this form out and that type thing, you'll start saying, well, he did communicate pretty good, so that was a strength. But back here, maybe you said that he did not communicate appropriately. So be sure as you're doing your skills inventory and skills summary that you're referring back to your soft skills and performance skills to make sure that it matches the data that you've already collected. And because, again, you'll use this section right here just to do a quick at a glance. Sometimes you might want to just, as you're looking at potential jobs or whatever, you're not going back and looking at every question in every section. This gives you a quick glance to, oh yeah, this probably wouldn't be a good job for John because of, or this would be a great job for John because of, that type of thing. And then as you move into skill summary, it's a little more detailed and descriptive of that skills inventory, and kind of, again, just a summary of the soft skills section. And as you scroll down, you'll see an opportunity to talk about the performance skills there also. And I think that covered assessments.
Okay, and Tim, and I just want to say that we know that the situational assessments, you have to do two different ones, and they need to be in an integrated type environment.
Absolutely, yes, definitely.
And so I think it was Natalie that had a question. Do you want to go into extra question now?
Yes, thank you. I was wondering, how much time do you spend in the working phase of the assessment when they are at the work site?
When they're doing the assessment, we spend a minimum of 2 hours, unless there's something due to the disability that they're not able to work that long in a period of time. But typically it's at least 2 hours at each assessment site. But if they're not able to complete that, then again, that's where we're going to document that, not only in the milestone 1 assessment paperwork, but also in our case notes to the counselor.
Are they doing both assessments in the same day?
Can.
Okay.
We try to schedule it, because most individuals we work with depend on a parent or someone else for transportation. So yes, we try to schedule it to where maybe they meet us here at the office, and then we provide the transportation to the different job sites.
Okay.
And do the assessments, and then have the parent pick them back up or meet us or something like that. But again, you may have an individual that they just, because of their disability or health issues, they just may not be able to, perform that long.
And Tim,
that doesn't. I was going to say, that doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to work. Best practices, we want to try to get those 20 plus hours. But if it's due to the disability and that's documented, and the consumer and the counselor, you can pursue jobs with fewer hours. It just can't be because that's all the employer is offering is less.
Right.
And
No.
that brings me to another point, Tim. If an individual may not be able to complete a situational assessment, there may be also an individual who may have been more appropriate for a discovery. Because our discoveries we use, if we don't do both, we don't do the situational assessment and a discovery. We use the discovery, of course, as an assessment. And the discovery we reserve for those individuals who are the most significant of the most significantly disabled, who may not be able to do a successful situational assessment. When I say successful, meaning completed to the fullest. So you might get a more accurate and a better picture of doing a discovery on that individual. And let me go to Donna. Donna, would you monitor the chat for us and find out if we have any more questions in there?
No, there's no more questions. WAMHC did need a copy of this section that Tim and Cynthia discussed.
Okay, the all the assessments. Okay, making a note of it. Thank you, Donna. And Tim, looks like did you have any final comments, or because you have a little bit more time, or if not, we can go to break because I did not schedule one, but it looks like we have about maybe 15 minutes or so prior to starting the next segment if we need to. But if I don't want to cut into your time, since you have a little more time, if you want to make some final comments.
Yes, Cynthia just made a good point that I forgot to mention too, that the assessments need to be done within 7 to 10 days of oh shoot, I just went
Of the
blank.
referral.
Within 7 to 10 days of each other. If they're not
Yes.
able to complete them the same day, we at least want to try to get them done within 7 to 10 days of each other.